Hi to everyone. Welcome to the 19th episode of CryptoEconomics and FinTech for everyone. As you could notice, now our program's title is being updated. It is not FinTech for everyone anymore, since we are actually discussing a lot of news about CryptoEconomics with dear Burak Tamaç. So we have thought that it will be a more appropriate title, and hopefully not only people from FinTech ecosystem, but CryptoEconomics ecosystem belonging people there, they will be also interested in the show. Welcome, Burak. How are you? First of all, how is everything?
I am good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks a lot.
After you
So,
updated the title, I think I should update my photo too. My,
so
my photo seems older than the program, so I should update that too soon.
You are with a T-shirt in the photo, so for the title, with the updated title, it is more appropriate. If it were FinTech for everyone, still, then maybe ties and a suit would be the update. But I think it's already okay. You are already fitting to the titles of the program. So
I actually, before we
yes.
start, Hocam, I actually went to New York City other day. We had a meeting with the DFC, Department of Financial Services. Those are one of the top regulators in the country, and New York is obviously the top regulator state. So we met actually the top people there who are responsible for the regulations, and I didn't wear a tie that day either. So that's kind of like my stand, no tie.
I think it's quite okay. And I'm just bringing the jacket. So if it is only crypto,
Yes,
then
yes.
I wear this off. If it is with fintech, then sometimes I wear this. Okay, so from our last episode, many things have happened again. So crypto is never without any drama or new happenings. So we have one title about three ACs default. We were discussing last time that there's a huge probability that one of the largest, biggest crypto VCs, Three Arrows Capital, might be in difficulty, and now it looks like it is official. We can discuss briefly about that. But to start with, recently Gary Gensler made a remark, and I think it is important from a couple of reasons. He has stated that Bitcoin can be taught as a commodity, but not the altcoins or the others. So what's your interpretation, or what should be the interpretation for Gary Gensler's statements? Is it a kind of political, tactical, strategical statement, or is it what it is? What do you think?
So this is not new obviously. Gary Gensler said the same things, similar things for the last year, we would say. Especially Bitcoin as a commodity, he started to mention that last summer, and that signaled the approval of Bitcoin futures ETF, because the commodities usually trade on a futures contract on CME, and then those ETFs, except gold, they are futures ETF. So he kind of the limit to Bitcoin as a commodity so that the CFTC would regulate it. CFTC is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission in the United States. So this is actually interesting, because he is willingly to willingly actually to give Bitcoin to CFTC, which is not responsible. He is obviously the chairman of SEC. But this obviously comes with the not even implied. I listened to an interview on CNBC. He also said he can only say that the Bitcoin could be is a commodity, but he also said at the same time that the rest of the cryptocurrencies, which almost 20,000 right now, that we know of or listed in coin market cap, I think, they are securities. When he said that, it's obviously he's basically saying, CFTC, you can take Bitcoin, I'll take this 20,000 cryptocurrencies under my umbrella, and I will regulate them. So that's his stance that we know of. And then I think he reiterated this statement. This is not something new, as we know, but I think this came after the Cynthia Lummis and Gillibrand's bill about regulation. And in that regulation, too, we saw this bifurcation between SEC and CFTC. And CFTC in the bill is mostly responsible for the exchanges, but also, like in this case, the commodity is Bitcoin, obviously. But on the other hand, there's still a role for SEC to regulate securities, cryptocurrencies as securities. And we can go into detail and discuss about are they securities or not. But what he mentioned in the interview is basic disclosures that they have to provide when they sell tokens to engage and raise some funds. So that's kind of like, stock. If you sell a stock and you raise some funds, that there are certain disclosures that you have to provide. Obviously, there is no clarity about crypto tokens before, so they didn't, like none of the crypto currencies, when they did the ICOs and everything, they didn't do anything because there was no clarity about the regulation. But this also comes with the risk that so if this plan, the separation between CFTC and SEC, CFTC basically regulating Bitcoin, and then the rest goes to SEC's umbrella, that also brings the risk of this hundreds of tokens listed in exchanges in the United States could be in risk, because if they cannot qualify to be a security under the SEC's regulatory framework, then they cannot be listed in the exchanges. We all know that also Gary Gensler showed his reluctance to actually have hundreds of coins in exchanges. He wants it to be small so that he can control. So we can say that if this plan realized, implemented in the future, we can say that I'm giving a FUD right now. We can say that a lot of hundreds of coins will be delisted from the exchanges in the United States. Like Binance, for example, have a Binance United States branch, so to speak, and FTX too. But I'm talking about only the exchanges in the United States, like Coinbase, Kraken, all of that. So that will bring a big risk for the altcoins if this plan's realized. But I don't really expect anything to be concrete before the first quarter of 2023. So, yeah.
I would like to also discuss about the weekly highlights, which are every week, actually twice a week, by the beginning and also towards the end of the week. So from here we see as the first title, first headline about the Gary Gensler that we have talked about, and the other one is probably the 3AC's failure. So we have discussed briefly that this might have an effect on regulations, because once it starts a chain reaction, we know that it has started with Luna, and then we have 3AC. Actually, we had also Celsius issue, and we know that many other projects are have exposure on 3AC. So recently, another news came from FTX, and they have the CEO of FTX announced that actually there are some crypto exchanges which are secretly liquidated, but it is not known yet. So they are actually expecting that in the near future there will be more defaults in the crypto ecosystem, which is not a good news, of course. So
I think he also implied that there are small ones, not the big names.
Indeed. Indeed.
I remember there was some like wording there, like implying that they are not the big exchanges, but the small ones, I think. I just want to emphasize that, so there's not like, I don't think he's talking about Coinbase, Binance, big names,
No.
but other ones, I believe.
For sure not. I mean, actually, I think throughout these days we are seeing kind of bailout packages from the biggest central exchanges. So the biggest central exchanges are like the how to say the like the even Fed of the 2008 crisis, and there was an official statement about it that was throughout the tweets. I don't remember the origin of it yet, but it was something like saying, in the Genesis block of Bitcoin, we had references to the bailout packages of Fed for the banks, and now we are kind of similar news that FTX is rescuing that VC. Binance is supporting another one, so that they are kind of course, helping the survival of the crypto ecosystem. But still, there are again pros and cons. I mean, the big ones are getting bigger. In that sense, the central or the financial power in crypto ecosystem is unfortunately going towards centralization. The power gets centralized. This is another thing. The other one is, as we had mentioned, okay, although there are some small exchanges still struggling, there's a struggle in the crypto ecosystem. So that is not over yet. And another news would be from European Central Bank. Christian Lagarde reiterated that in July we will have interest rate increases. In September it will continue. They are talking about forward guiding, but throughout Fed last last meeting was a kind of rejection of forward guiding. I mean, it's revealed us that we cannot fully trust in that sense, fully trust the announcements of Fed, because no one was expecting so much increase in the interest rate that we had also discussed in this program. So considering all of these, so I want to share my expectation in a clear way. Usually I don't want to have interpretation about the market cycles, but it looks like as long as this monetary contractionary policies continue, I don't think that the crypto markets will be in the how to say that, I don't want to say a critical word there, but probably if we are in a bear market, and we are, it will continue throughout the contractionary monetary policies. So this is my humble opinion. I don't know if you agree with that or disagree.
There's obviously so the market's always like price what would be the case in the future, obviously, and the Fed is changing its course of tightening every single FOMC meeting since November, except the one was in May. That was the only one that the Fed didn't actually became more hawkish. But it seems like even today, like the Fed chairman said, they were wrong about understanding inflation. This is like that statement is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. I don't know how long he will live, but everyone will bring that to his face in the future. So I have a feeling that honestly this inflation is going to go a little higher, because why would, like, Powell is actually talking about they were wrong about understanding inflation before, like 10 days before the next like CPI print we will know. So this suggests the fact that I think this tightening will go more aggressive, and in that environment, I believe it's really no way out for cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin to pivot or to decouple from traditional assets, traditional like financial assets. The only thing, like, we can conclude probably the only chance that could change the course of Bitcoin might be a spot ETF, which we have two deadlines right now. The one is the one everyone's like talking about, Grayscale's BTF fund to conversion to spot ETF, which SEC has to make a decision before next Friday, July 7th or 6th, I think.
I don't think that it will be approved, by the way, by
Yeah.
this ETF. I think we have still time for that. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. So that's the deadline for that is for next Friday, I think. But there's also another spot ETF decision SEC has to provide by this Friday, July 1st. It is Bitwise application for the spot ETF. So there were some the positive news and the optimism about Grayscale ETF conversion application, but the James Seyffert and Eric Balchunas, who are the biggest, the most well-known ETF analysts at Bloomberg, they both said that they really don't expect. I think Eric Balchunas said 0.1% chance that SEC will approve spot ETF next week, and James even said that because the Bitwise decision is this Friday, they will probably deliver Grayscale decision as well this Friday, saying that they rejected it. Because the reasons are still there, we might argue that the reasons are legitimate or not. That's another discussion. But the reasons SEC has been putting out there, they are still there. They haven't been met, and so it's very likely that they will be rejected. So in this kind of environment, as I said, in the QT and Fed become more hawkish every single time, in this kind of macroeconomic environment, it's very hard Bitcoin to decouple from traditional financial assets positively. It needs some catalyzer. It needs some big news or event. Spot ETF could be that, but the earliest they say will be the first half of 2023 next year. So I think we're going to be in these deep levels for a while until Fed changes the course of aggressive QT, and that might happen after the election. Actually, I heard something yesterday that Fed is actually doing so hard. Who said it? Dr. Jeff Rose said it in Pump's YouTube channel. He just said his personal opinion. He said he doesn't know about politics or everything, but just an idea, which actually kind of makes sense. The Fed is going so hard right now. They're going to crash everything before the election, like summer, July, August, and then they will start QE again before the election. So that in the election, everybody will be fine. Everything will be fine again. So that's kind of interesting, playing the political part in that too. We'll see what happens, but it doesn't seem like the Fed will change the course of tightening before September for sure.
So there are also lots of criticisms, of course, for Powell. I mean, this statement is telling on its own. He has a saying now we understand better how less we understand inflation, the type of statement. I mean, unbelievable. So these are the days. So unfortunately, we are in the times that the news from crypto ecosystems, the projects from crypto ecosystems are not leading the markets now. The Fed decisions, European Central Bank decisions, regulations. So these are the news which are being priced in the markets. I think, as we had discussed, this will continue for a while. My expectation is by the end of October or by November. So in that sense, these are also the times where it is the best, it is optimal to do research, to develop to build, because this is of course a lifelong journey, and there are also some advantages in these times where the prices are not dramatically rising or not dramatically declining, but they are like all of them are kind of stable coin. They say that Bitcoin is transformed to a stable coin around $20,000. So of course these are all jokes, but I would like to invite everyone to read more, to do research, to learn more. There are lots of new projects are actually forthcoming. So doing research on them, all of those layer 2 projects are also quite exciting. So this week we had Arbitrum Odyssey, for example. So there are still kind of exciting news out there, but needs a bit more dedicated research. So I wish everyone can have time to look for them. There are always opportunities also out there. Many thanks, Burak, and looking forward to meeting you in another episode for Crypto Economics and FinTech.
Next week. Thanks for inviting me. See you next week.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.